What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome to episode 185 of The Rise of a Nation here with Gibraltar. Today, World Cup quarter-final. It's mad to say. And I'm lost for words, and I don't know how I'm going to get through this episode in one piece. Today, we're taking on Israel, an Israeli side who are actually lower in the FIFA ratings than us. So that's something. If you missed last episode, go check it out, even though I have now given away the fact that we did win, of course, against the USA. 2-1 it finished. A good win. Moscow getting 2 goals. Foray with a sending off. Not what we needed. But we managed to hold on to that lead that we asserted early on. And yeah, we earned ourselves a spot in the quarterfinal, which, as I said, is against Israel today. So going into today's game, squad news, our squad's dead. I don't know how else to put it. They played, basically 2/3 of a game down a man against the USA. Had to dig pretty deep when it came to kind of defending. In general, a few of our players are okay, but there are a few players that we are taking risks on and players who are just not going to start today, and I'm going to bring them on off the bench and hopefully they have the impact that I hope they can have. So as you look at our team, there are a few changes. Salcedo, of course, holds down his position in goal. We are sticking, of course, with the 5 at the back. Left back, one change. Jason Hall comes in, the 30-year-old. A good left back, but obviously not our first choice. Salas would normally play there. Our right back, obviously, Graffite would normally play there. Modesto comes in. 2 like-for-like changes in terms of similar style of players. Modesto and Hall for the players they're replacing, but nowhere near the same calibre. In the defence, we stick with Frigère and Horst, although their condition is a little bit of a concern. 89% for Frigère. For Horst, it is at 89% too. Bulat comes into the side in replacement of Castano. He is fairly fit, Bulat. He did play, of course, in the last game against Belgium 2 games ago in the last group stage game. And that is the case with a few of our players. I think it's worth stressing, of course, we rested a lot of players during that Belgium game. I have no idea how unfit they'd be if they played that game as well. Anyway, moving on to the midfield, definitely our weakened area. Benjamin Williams going to be playing the advanced playmaker role for us. In the centre of the kind of midfield, being that rock for us, it's going to be Graffite. Out on the left, we go with Aníbal Perez, who's really struggling, 84% condition, but he starts today, a player who really can have an impact for us. And you'll notice up top, no Mosca to start the game. I'm taking a little bit of a risk. I feel like it's a calculated one, though. We're going to start the game with Steve Henney, 30 years old, a very good striker. And, of course, Bay, who has been a really, really good player for us throughout this entire World Cup campaign, kind of going back to the qualifiers and beyond, really. And hopefully today, obviously, he can maintain that level of performance again. That does mean that Mosca's on the bench. The reason for having him on the bench basically is 86% condition. Probably not going to last the entire game. And I feel like this game against Israel is going to be one that goes the length. And so, if we get into the second half, he'll probably come on at half-time and he'll be able to run, hopefully, the Israel side kind of ragged, Will Mosca, with his pace, with his physicality. That's kind of the plan. It's a little bit of a risk not to play him off the bat, but he would have to come off during the game anyway. I guess that risk with Aníbal Perez is kind of the reverse. Aníbal Perez, the centre attacking mid, not very fit, going to struggle, but I feel like he's a kind of player who he doesn't have quite as much physicality about him, and as a result, he's probably a better player to start. So yeah, this is the team we're going to go with. Of course, Israel, a surprise package really in the World Cup. They are ranked 38th in the world ranking, and actually I think a big reason behind their success, if we look here, is the fact they've got quite a lot of virtual players. Now, if you don't know, depending on your database side, some national teams will not have kind of a full squad of players, and these greyed out players are known as virtual players. They're players who are generated with attributes relative kind of to the nation that they're in. So if we just look through this Israel side, they're quite good players. They're not terrible by any means, these greyed out players who just don't really exist. But the big thing to note about them is they don't seem to have the fitness knock-on of players who are playing constantly in the World Cup. I think that's to do with the fact that virtual players refresh every so often. So as a result, their team's fairly fit, particularly in the defence. As we actually move into the midfield, they have got a few perhaps more tired legs here. Hajjaj going to be playing for them. In the centre of midfield, they've got Nimni, who's an okay centre mid, but nothing too special. Alongside him, they've got Sofa, who's an okay playmaker, but again, nothing too stand out. They then have Ben Hemo, the left winger. He's quite good, but he's old. Up top, they've got Attar, who looks okay, no better than Bay, I'd say. And Ibrahim as well, who they're playing as a striker, despite the fact he's a left winger. So that's kind of a taster of, I guess, the team. It's worth noting they've only got one fit striker in their entire squad, so we're going to try and use that, of course, to our advantage. Perhaps a little thing to note about Israel is the fact that they have kept a hell of a lot of clean sheets. They conceded 2 against Morocco, But with the exception of that, so far in the World Cup, in 4 games, they've kept 3 clean sheets against the likes of Japan, Colombia, and Germany, who they beat after extra time. So they're not going to be pushovers. I don't see us surviving the game, to be honest, if it goes to extra time. I think that would be a big stretch on our players. But regardless, the team is fairly fit, kind of relative to other World Cup teams at this point. We could definitely be in a lot worse situation. We are going to stick with a 5-3-2. It served us well. This is going to be a challenge for us, and I definitely think the fitness could play a role. But to be honest, I feel like all the games, really, with the exception of the Belgium game that we've had so far in this World Cup, have been no harder than when we took on the likes of Italy and Sweden in the qualifiers. I feel like those games are as tough as some of the games we've had. So, looking at this, they're going to play the 4-4-2 that they were predicted to play. A striker playing out of position, that's worth noting. They're going to have some tiring legs in the midfield, but defensively, lots of virtual players there. We are the underdogs going into this game. I didn't catch the match odds. If we just take a look here at the analysis. Actually, no, we're not. We're the favourites. So that says a lot kind of about our situation, I guess, in a lot of ways. We are being tipped to reach a World Cup final here. Apparently, we score a lot of goals from crosses. Israel are going to have a big battle on their hands to stop us doing that today. So yeah, the winner of this game will be playing England as well. I should mention that. England, who are the #1 team in the world. A team who we've actually met before. We met them in the Euros 2 years ago now in the group stage. Some of you guys may remember that. It actually finished 2-0 there. But no, we'll see what we can do here. Off the bat, we're the team coming forward. Why not? Williams. From kickoff, let's believe. Perez to Modesto. Can he get it in? Can he get... I mean, end the highlight then. Why not? Why not end the highlight then? Bizarre. I had my hopes up and they were crushed and my dreams died. Apparently we're being overrun in midfield. Look at the stats. Israel, yes, they're having more of the ball. Not creating any more chances than us. 35 minutes gone. I mean, not a lot happening if we're honest. It's going to be a bland first half. It's 0-0. Let's hope the second half livens things up. I'm going to tell the players I'm not happy with their performance. Some nice reactions there. Perez, 69% condition. Actually, a tad better than I expected it to be. Of course, we've got Mosca waiting in the wings. He's a player who I'm waiting for the moment to be right. I think we'll bring him on in the next 10 minutes or so, to be honest. This game, not got a lot about it. It needs a spark. It needs some life injected in. And I think Mosca might be the man to do that for us. We're going to take off Henny. He has struggled in this game. Annabelle Perez also struggling for fitness. I'm going to bring in... I mean... Part of me wants to switch it out, but it's probably not worth it because he's playing well. But I will take out Graffite. We're going to bring in Danny Evans there. Graffite, 64% condition on a 6.6 as well in that centre defensive mid role. Could be better. Probably makes most sense to take him off. Annabelle Perez, he's very tired, yes, but an unbelievable talent for us. One of our key kind of first team players and a player who is perhaps worth risking and chancing to just have a shot at a World Cup semi-final. I mean, if we get to the semi-finals, we're going to take on the #1 team, England. No expectations at that point, but we have to focus on the here and now. There's 10 minutes left in this game. Israel yet to have a shot on target. As I say that, they do hit the target. This could be going to extra time, and that probably doesn't suit us. Set piece here. Israel whip it in. We deal with it nicely. Can we counter? Mosca the sub. Men on ahead. Fred through Perez. He's absolutely dead, is Perez. But he beats his man. Puts it wide. The first kind of half chance, really, of the game. Looking at it, Israel have had one half chance. We've had a few. I'm going to tell the players again I'm not happy. There's probably an argument to say at this point I should start playing more attacking, but the reality is my players are kind of dead. Annabelle Perez, we probably have to keep him on. That's the worst thing. Brigier is struggling quite a lot at centre-back. I'm going to bring in Castano for him. I feel like having fresh legs in the centre-back position could be quite valuable as this game progresses. It's going to be important that we don't concede. Mosca gets an injury. That is the nightmare, isn't it? That was always the risk with Mosca. He's injury prone. Well, we're going to be a man short for the rest of this game. Bay is going to be up top on his own. This is now about trying to survive, I think. That's probably Mosca's tournament over as well. I shouldn't think too negatively here. I should be being super positive, but I'm sure you guys can appreciate top goal scorer injured. I think it's going to be about now in this game, really, trying to survive the next 15 minutes, and let's just try and take it to penalties. We've lost our star player. We've lost the crown in our the jewel in our crown. Castano mops that up quite nicely there. I thought we were about to concede. 10 minutes left. 0-0. Not interesting. Don't care. 3 minutes left to survive. It's gone to penalties. It's been the most boring of boring games. But I don't really care. Anyway, let's sort out this team. I don't know who's selecting the penalties, but they've done an absolutely terrible job. To be fair, we've not got the best penalty lineup, if we're being honest here. It's going to be a struggle today, but we're going to have our best penalty takers take the first penalties. I guess this is the disadvantage of playing with so many centre-backs and defenders, is you don't have an abundance of penalty-taking talent. Anyway, we are going to switch, I think, onto... Yeah, we'll go with 2D Classic here. Or do we want to go with Close? Or Direct? We'll go with Director. Let's be snazzy about this. This is a big moment here. If we get to the semi-finals and we play England and we get slaughtered, I won't care because we will have got this far. This is a big game. Ibrahim, Sofa, there's a few players there. Oh, we can't take a better look at our players. Either way, should we get into this? Penalty shootout. It's a World Cup quarter-final. The semi-finals on the line. I'm worried the camera's going to be too far away. Let's go on Close. That's probably the better option. They're going to take the first penalty here. Match stats now pointless. Israel v Gibraltar. A World Cup quarter-final. Goes to penalties. Cocoon, just miss. Miss, you know. Reduce the pressure on my players, please. I mean, hopefully he'll take the penalty. He steps up left-footed. I mean, he's gone the wrong way as Salcedo, but he did well to finish it. And I hate taking penalties second. Bay smashes it. I mean, he's thunder bastard did that. Pardon my French. The fans, got Gibraltar fans behind the goal. They're going mad. Sofa scores 2-1 Israel. They'll be delighted with their start. William stepping up for us. We lack penalty taking talent. And unfortunately, Williams has displayed that there, putting it wide. Ohana, I mean, that's a great penalty. Top right corner. Salcedo, absolutely no chance. Pressure now on Perez, really. Hannibal Perez. Didn't think he'd end the game. He finishes it. I don't know how he's still on the pitch, to be fair. He's absolutely dead. But he scored when it matters. And, well, Salcedo makes his way in goal. Tarake to take. It's a save. It's a save. What a stop. Horse. Gary Horse, the captain. Can he score? No, he can't. He's fluffed his lines. Simonov, or Simonov, he saves. What the hell has Salcedo done? 2 misses for them. 2 misses for us, but Castano has to score. And he does. What is happening? Sudden death now. Atar, saved. Salcedo could be the hero. Modesto, just step up and score. He misses 2. Oh my gosh, what's happening? They've missed 3 penalties in a row. Can they miss another? Oh, we had a chance. We had a penalty to win. Jason Hull steps up. He scores. I haven't sorted out my penalty takers below 7th because I didn't think it would matter. Sylvan steps up. He scores. That's a great penalty. Who's going to be next for us? It's a mystery. Bulat. Can he score? He steps up. He puts it wide. We had a penalty to win. And we blew it. I feel like I've aged during that game. I guess technically I have aged, but that was heartbreaking. I mean, Mosca's injury, not what we wanted. The dream dies in the World Cup quarterfinals, but what a game it was. Went down to penalties. We had a penalty to win the whole thing. I could look at Modesto and blame him, but I don't think that would be very fair, would it? Right, well, Israel win. Portugal won. They'll be meeting, I believe, Mexico whilst England meet Israel. I mean, we lose in the quarterfinals, but we weren't expected to get out the group, so I can't complain about it at all. Mosca, torn ankle ligaments, out for 6 to 8 weeks, probably going to miss the start of the season. We've got to build upon the World Cup. You can see our squad featured 12 players over the age of 30. That is like my concern really is that in some ways this was a golden generation of sorts, and the reason that is because the Gibraltarian sides now are starting to sign international quality players who are declared for their nations who aren't going to want to play for Gibraltar. I'm sure there'll be exceptions to the rule. But when you look through the Gibraltar side in terms of viability, yes, there are a few standout youngsters. Well, I say youngsters very loosely, Mosca and Salas, who are 27. Then players like Graffiti, Annabelle Perez, Gary Horse, Bay, Jason Hall, Modesto, Henny, they're going to be 34 and older when the next World Cup comes around. And I don't want to say they'll be past it because Frigère, he survived age 34, but it's going to be a big task for those players to stay fit. I feel like the Euros might be the last big kind of tournament we have with this squad before it could get substantially weaker, or we do just get that next generation of players coming through. And I'm desperately hoping the kind of next generation is the way things work out here. Gibraltar delighted with World Cup showing. Well, that's good. We lost. Remember, if the Gibraltar team said that we'd exceeded the expectations throughout the World Cup, and nobody was too downhearted about the result. I think that's fair. It's cruel to lose in that manner. But, I mean, we had a penalty to win it and we bottled it, simply put. But we got to a World Cup quarter-final as Gibraltar. It's mad. It's mad. I mean, it was a good run. You know, World Cup, we beat South Africa, we beat Jamaica, we lost against Belgium, beat the USA, came undone against Israel. But to be, in the top 8 is the way of looking at it. To be in the top 8 best teams to show up at the World Cup, not a bad showing. It'll be interesting to see where we end up in the FIFA World Rankings off the back of that. Because right now we are... where are we? I think we're like 30th? Yeah, we're 30th. I imagine we'll go up. I guess we'll find out with time. In terms of next episode, it will be a club episode again. It'll be the start of the Gibraltarian football season, I do believe. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this World Cup run. It's been one hell of an adventure. Obviously, the Euros beckon. That's going to be a fun campaign to hopefully get stuck into. Hopefully, it can be half as successful as this one. To get to the quarterfinal with Gibraltar, nothing to be kind of scoffed at. I'm pretty happy with that as a whole. I feel like, I was delighted when we got to a World Cup. I feel like the World Cup draw itself was kind of kind. We definitely had a chance to beat Israel. Just wasn't our day when it came to penalties and kind of that flip of the coin. Obviously, Mosca's injury as well with 20 minutes left probably hurt us because really, we've been saving him, hoping he'd come on and have an impact being kind of fresh-legged, and that just wasn't the case because he tore out ankle ligaments. But yeah, that's all from me, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please do smash the like button. If you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And other than that, it is me, Jack. I'll be back next time for the start of the 2038-39 season, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.